But how do you equate Hitler's use of propaganda with the way that propaganda, if you will, is used, let us say, here in the United States? Are you suggesting that there is a parallel?
Needless to say, it's not being used in this way now. But the point is, it seems to me, that there are methods at present available, methods superior in some respects to Hitler's method, which could be used in a bad situation. I mean, what I feel very strongly is that we mustn't be caught by surprise by our own advancing technology. This has happened again and again in history. Technology has advanced, and this changes social conditions, and suddenly people have found themselves in a situation which they didn't foresee and doing all sorts of things they didn't really want to do.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about troubling and irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
We grow up supporting the underdog because we see ourselves in them. We've learned when we grow as one, we grow as many. We want to be happy and not live in misery. We want to be healthy and not live with agony. We aspire to reach for the heavens, and if we miss, we find solace in knowing we'll fall amongst the stars. The world is impermanent and nothing stays the same. New wealth, however tainted by cupidity and egoism, leads to all men's Without fate. Balance, we begin to fall. The further we fall, the harder it is to rise from the impact, and love behaves in the same way. We as humans fall into love. We do not say we rise to love because there in the act lies the fall. To let go and surrender the concept of the self is a terribly frightening thing for a person to do. But without surrender comes no room for growth. A seed surrenders itself to the soil and lets water nourish its hardened core. With enough time, hope, and nurture, we see the love rise from its hardened core and transform into a strong blossoming tree, standing tall in the raging wind and glistening sunlight. As yin is to yang, we as humans are both the hardened seed and blossoming tree. Our environment is crucial to our success, and yet can be the very thing that prevents us from attaining it. Our changing culture has led to acquisitiveness rather than generousness. It has led to greediness rather than kindness, collectivism rather than individualism. It was Charlie Chaplin who once said, "You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. Don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty." And as comes with the changing times comes a time of uncertainty and civil unrest. Your leaders don't stand to protect you, they stand to own you. They don't want you knowing how to think or feel, so they dull you with background noise and bottles of antidepressants, master solutions for underlying problems that don't exist. There is no problem with you. The problem lies with them. Don't listen and blindly follow what you see. There's an old proverb that stands just as true today as it did yesterday. Believe half of what you see and nothing of what you hear. Everything is a rich man's trick. The media corrupts your thoughts with fear and program your minds to become like sheep. Believe nothing of what you hear. Do the research and find the truth yourself, and only then can we stand to beat collectivism in the name of individualism. Let us fight for a just world, a world where we can all be free from fear, free from slavery, and free from oppression. Without freedom, liberty will perish. Let us unite and act with harmony and compassion. Forget indifference and rise up against the injustice. Don't let the fear of actions from dictators who aim to enslave the people silence your voice. Your voice is you. Fill your voice with love, and we will all be free. You are both a hardened seed and a strong blossoming tree. You may get cut down, but you will never stop growing. Free yourself, and then free others.
The Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion. What do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. No president should fear public scrutiny of his program, for from that scrutiny comes understanding, and from that understanding comes support or opposition, and both are necessary.